It's the Wait a Minute Show.
Bruh, ain't that right, Lopan? Wait a minute. Book it. Really?
The Wait a Minute Show with your host, Jolani J.B. Bodie.
What's up? Ladies and gentlemen, it is your man, Jelani J.B. Bodie. Yes, host of this thing called, you see it over there up in the corner, The Wait a Minute Show. And we are here to talk about sports and give you your sports fix. I don't do this by myself. You already know who's here with me, who's always kicking it, who's always, I guess behind the scenes, if you will, but is a thorn. And you know my what? Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Lopan.
Indeed.
He loves cutting me off. I don't know what this thing is about. As I start speaking, he wants to speak.
Indeed.
He wants to speak over me, but I guess it's a little game that he plays. But despite that, speaking of game, we got, some NFL preseason games that's been going on. It's week 2, so I know everybody's excited because we're getting closer and closer to the start of the NFL season. I know I am excited because my team is kicking off the season going up against the champs. So that's for a different story. But we're going to talk about basically what happened this week, some of the trending stuff that happened in the NFL. But you saw it flashing there in the corner, man. Make sure if you haven't already that you're subscribed to the YouTube channel and you're following us and turn on those notifications so you get notified every time a show goes live, that you can jump into the live show, or you just get notified every time there's a new show and you can check it out and put any comments you want to put in the comment section. So follow your boy, man, and make sure you're out there sharing that as well. So let's go ahead. Let's get started. Let's get right into the meat and potatoes. So recently we had some additions. We've talked about how the running back position has been devalued, right? And guys were just sitting out there. They shouldn't be sitting out there. So 2 guys came off the free agent market. That was Dalvin Cook going to the New York Jets and Ezekiel Elliott going to the New England Patriots, right? So they found a home in the AFC East. There were some other teams. Dalvin had visited some other teams. He visited Miami. And Zeke, I'm sure, had been in contact with some other teams. But finally, a decision has been made, and they've decided to land there. So we're going to talk about both of those additions to the team and how that's going to impact. So let's start off with Dalvin Cook, right? Dalvin Cook going to the Jets. Now he was in the mix for going to Miami, which was a good look as well. Going to the Jets again. All this is going to add on to the paper. It's going to add fuel to the paper because how the New York Jets look on paper, they look awesome. Now, if you've been watching Hard Knocks, you've noticed that they had a little bit of an issue with their offensive line and some of their offensive production. Robert Saleh said it last year. They had he put it to them plain and straight. We had an awesome defense last year, and our offense was poo emoji, right? It wasn't where it needed to be, and that we're doing that right now. So that's going to be what they're going to have to address. Adding someone like Dalvin Cook is obviously going to assist in that. They're still looking at, their O-line, situations. Aaron Rodgers has already said that, it's a work in progress, and I believe that. So they still got, almost 2 weeks to get this thing in order and get ready for the season and, to build through it. But adding Dalvin Cook, what this does as well, again, you got Breece Hall that's going to be coming back. The one thing that's going to be great for Breece Hall now is that he's not going to have to rush back. You're not going to have to put that load on him. You're not going to have him tote the entire season being the lead back. You're going to have Michael Carter there that's already there. And then adding Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook comes from Minnesota where he had some playing time that he shared with, Alexander Madison, and that worked out well. Now, obviously, who's going to be the starting running back? It may not really matter in this particular situation because I think it's going to be team specific and how they game plan. There's going to be, I think, teams that Breece Hall will probably be better to be suited for the key role, and there's going to be games I think that Dalvin Cook will be. At this point, though, Dalvin is in. It's a 1-year deal. Hey, I go out there, I do my thing. Maybe he takes over. Maybe he's that guy, going forward. Or again, next year he's looking at, another team. But as far as like adding on to the Jets, you can't get any better, right? You can't get any better on the offensive side, barring the offensive line. I'm just saying the offensive line, because now you have your wide receiver in Garrett Wilson. You have your quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. You have now three, because Michael Carter's back there. So now you got 3 quality running backs. There shouldn't be a problem, unless it's the offensive line, but there shouldn't be a problem offensively with this. And Dalvin Cook is going to add another dimension to this team. So when they're playing other teams, you got to worry about Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook. So it's a good spot, a good landing spot. You got a team on the defensive side for the New York Jets. They're going to more than likely get us extra opportunities, get us rest, get us the ball back, and that gives us more opportunities to score, which Dalvin Cook is a scorer, right? So this is an excellent pickup, and if this is a 1-year thing, this is an excellent spot to land for the next year for Dalvin Cook. Now, moving on to Ezekiel Elliott. Again, he signed with the New England Patriots, right? So this is also, it makes sense. When I heard the news that Ezekiel Elliott was going to the Patriots, I heard that they were interested, and then he went to go visit. I said, yeah, I can see him landing there. One of the things is, I talked about Dalvin Cook, sharing the ball with Alexander Madison. Zeke got a whiff of that last year, sharing the ball. He was sharing the ball with Tony Pollard before, but he shared the ball more with Tony Pollard last year probably than he has his entire career being in Dallas. So in New England, it's going to be some of the same stuff. It's going to be running back by committee. We already know Bill Belichick ain't on that. I'm just going to give you the ball and have you tote the rock just because you are who you are or just because of the name of what you are. No, every situation, every week, we're going to highlight who's the best, candidate. You got Ramondre Stevenson there. I think Pierre Strong is still there. Damian Harris, I think, is still there. So you're going to have a stable of running backs. But what I do see in this, though, more than anything, is that we get a boatload of goal line situations for Ezekiel Elliott, which we saw last year. He got in the end zone plenty of times. Now, fantasy owners are probably going to be happy that had, a Cowboy running back because he's gone. But if you got a New England running back, you should be used to this anyway, because there is no rhyme or reason when it comes to the running back situation with Bill Belichick. But I can definitely see that this addition to Ezekiel Elliott being added to this mix, goal line situations, anything inside the 10 is going to be Zeke time. Let's just say that. Anything inside the 10 is going to be Zeke time, and I think he's going to feast. And in the role that they're going to, put him in, he doesn't have to carry the rock. He doesn't have to tote the rock that long. So I think these are really good additions by, both teams. But I know probably for one thing that happened is that, and I seen it, a little trim. I see Zeke got a little trim. They were like, hey, Zeke, we're going to go with you. But hey, Zeke, before you leave, chop that stuff off your head, bro. We don't do that here. So he might have just got a haircut anyway. But him to the Patriots make all the sense in the world. Where they finish, that's a whole different story in the division. But he's going to add quality to that as well as quantity to that running back situation. And they got a veteran, guy there as well. So good pickups by both teams. Both of these players will be able to help them in the role that they want them to play. And then if they do need to take on from time to time a lead role or shoulder, the bear of the running back situation, they can do that as well. So I'm just glad some running backs are landing in some spots and not just watching this thing like me from the stands.
Indeed.
Right, Lopan. So moving on, let's get into surprise teams, right? Surprise teams. So I talk about this every season, before every season, and I always mention about what is a surprise team, a team to look out for. And last year I kind of said it wasn't a surprise to me. It was more of letting everybody else know. Let me just preface it by that way.
Indeed.
Right, Lopan. Right here. I told everybody, surprise team, don't be surprised in how the Lions, season turns out. And it turned out, fairly well. Not how they wanted it, but turned out fairly well. So can't pick the Lions again, nor would I, because everybody is on the Lions. Ugh! I'm not going to get triggered. Everybody's on the Lions bandwagon, but we don't want them. We don't want them on our bandwagon.
Embiid.
Right, Lopez. I'm going to pick another team. And I've spoke about this team before and just said I think, they might be on the cusp of turning this thing around. And I'm going to go to the AFC South, right? And the Houston Texans. Houston Texans are going to be my breakout team, right? Or my surprise team that I'm going to pick. Last year, there was a lot of stuff. Let's just say that. We're not even going to get into all the specifics. There's a lot of stuff that was going on with the Houston Texans. But one thing that was kind of a constant to a certain degree was they were in a lot of games. And I don't know if that was their competition playing down to them, but I think the Houston Texans are better than what their record stated. And now that they've added, they got C.J. Stroud at the quarterback position. They made another trade to get Will Anderson on the other side as a linebacker with the team that they already have. And the biggest addition to this team is the coach, DeMeco Ryans. DeMeco Ryans, I think, is going to be able to do that quick transition that we've seen, a la Doug Peterson, another coach that came into a situation that was, crazy, and he turned around the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we saw what happened there. So, look, why not DeMeco? Why not the Houston Texans? I do believe, and they have talent there. They have spots at the running back position. They have spots at the wide receiver position. They got this kid, Stingley, the cornerback last year that they picked up. He's going to get, even better. So I see the Houston Texans. Houston Texans are my pick, and I think they're going to give Jacksonville a run for their money in that division in the AFC South. I think the Houston Texans are going to be in the mix when it comes down to the last 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to be talking about the Houston Texans and saying, wow, what a year. What a year makes. What happens, from the previous year to the next year. So the Houston Texans, mark it down, write it down, record this, whatever it is that you need to do. But my pick for a surprise team is going to be the Houston Texans.
Embiid.
I can't believe Lopan is agreeing with me on something today. Something's. That girl called you, didn't she? She called you, didn't she? She finally called you back. Now, no. Don't act like you ain't got nothing to say now. So she called you back and you're feeling yourself.
Embiid.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So Lopan is in a good mood. Hey, don't let Mocha find out. She'll split your wig playing around like that. But let's move on from Lopan's personal life. Let's just stick in this sports world. What else we got? So, best free agent, right? The best free agents that left. We talked about how Dalvin Cook and Zeke Elliott landed with a team. You have some other, like Jadeveon Clowney found a home. Ngagwe found a home. Somebody else found a home as well. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember off the top of my head, but a lot of veterans start finding homes this past week and getting on with teams. And this is, nothing out of the norm. It's like we're finalizing it. They're the constant professionals. They're going to be able to come in. They're going to be able to help, out in some form or fashion or some role. But we still got people that's out there. We still got people that's not picked up yet. Leonard Fournette. Nobody, picked up Leonard Fournette. So is anybody going to pick up Lenny, right? So you got other, Kyle Van Noy that's out there. He hasn't been picked up as far as I know. It might have just happened in the past hour or something before we were on. But there's guys that's out there that still are looking for homes. But I think the one player, and I've been talking about this player for a while, and I'm still surprised that they're out there. They've made a couple visits to some teams. But Kareem Hunt, to me, Kareem Hunt is going to be the best free agent that's still left out there that somebody needs to pick up. And I want to tell you the team that does need to pick him up, right? the LA Rams. I think the LA Rams, and this could be about the money situation. So I don't think it's about the talent. I don't think it's about anything else. I think it may be about the money situation or what, how this thing, is set up for Kareem Hunt. But I think the LA Rams, he was rumored for the Saints I think he visited the Saints. Going back to the Saints could possibly be with Alvin Kamara. He's going to be serving a suspension. Their rookie just got, injured. So maybe they want to pick him up and put him on the roster to help them out at the beginning of the season. But for the full season, the LA Rams, I'm telling you, Cam Akers is there, but Matthew Stafford, I've said it time and time again. Anytime he has a running game, he is a better quarterback times 2, right? He's a gunslinger. He's not, you don't have any quit in him or anything. So I'm not bashing Matthew Stafford. I'm just telling you what a running game does, for Matthew Stafford. And I think adding Kareem Hunt to that team also helps them with the progression of getting better because they don't have any draft picks. We already know they mortgaged their future for a Super Bowl and it paid off. So I'm not faulting them for it. Kudos to them. They cashed in on what they were and they're dealing with what they got to deal with now. So dealing with what you're dealing with now, go get Kareem Hunt to help out with that running game because Cooper Kupp is hurt. When Cooper Kupp gets back, Cooper Kupp is going to be triple, quadruple, quintuple, team when it's out there, and you're going to need a running game, for that to help out. So out of all the people that's out there, out of the people that's left, I got to go with Kareem Hunt. That's what I'm saying. Someone, if you need a running back, go get Kareem Hunt. I think he can help you out on your team. He can catch out of the backfield. He's a big back, so you can use him, in goal line situations, and he's going to help you in pass protection as well. Maybe teams are waiting. Maybe they're waiting, and they're just like, you know what? If we have another injury, then we'll, get Kareem in the mix. So Kareem could be, week 2, week 3, or something like that, into the season. But I do think right now, go get Kareem Hunt if you're the Rams. But what do I know? I'm just a guy that's just sitting here. That ain't played no football in life. That's just my opinion. Just my opinion.
Indeed.
Thank you, Lopan. At least Lopan got my back on that. So that's weird. Oh man, he got my back on something too. Ooh, that phone call must have been exciting. Okay, stop it. Free agents. We talked about surprise teams, but individually, every year we have a breakout player. Somebody that they just jump and take that next step in their career, or they're finally healthy. So they really cash in on what we expected. So we're going to get that every year. It's always going to be somebody that we didn't talk about in the beginning that we're talking about at the end of the year. And I'm going to do something a little bit different. So my breakout player, I normally, and I think most people would give you an offensive player, right? So I said, I'm going to change it up this year, right? I'm going to show the defense some love. I'm going to show the defensive side some love. I think it's a little bit harder as well to pick a defensive player because it's not a constant. It's not, everything is not set up, the same for a defensive player like it is for an offensive player. It's just like, hey, they got an excellent quarterback in the running game, so it's going to open up the passing game. So this wide receiver should, blah, 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 blah. You can't, it's not necessarily the same way. But I'm going to go east, and I'm going to go to the NFC and the Philadelphia Eagles and linebacker Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean, look out for Nakobe Dean this year, right? He's going to be my breakout player. Last year, drafted in the 3rd round, Nakobe was a project or projected to be in the 1st round due to some type of health injury or concern or something like that. He dropped to the 3rd round because people was concerned with it. And I said he landed in Philadelphia. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be crazy. So he gets there. He plays sparingly because you had Kazir White and you had TJ Edwards that was there playing at the linebacker position along with Hassan Reddick. So ain't nobody, So it was kind of like, all right, there's not enough room for him. They played him. I think he played some special teams, but he had like 13 tackles, on the season. I think 9 solo and 4, assisted.
Embiid.
Thank you, Lopan. So this year, he's starting. I think he's going to be the starting middle linebacker for their squad. I'm going to tell you right now, I got Nakobe Dean pinned in. I'm not using a pencil. I'm pinning them in, permanent marker, for 110 tackles. 110 tackles. I'm telling you, I think this guy is going to make a lot of teams regret that they didn't draft him and let him get to the third round. We've seen this before. And guys that have gotten drafted out of the third round, I'm going to give you a name now. And I'm not saying that he's this guy, but I'm just saying, as far as like people who got slept on and they got picked up in the third round at the linebacker position, Navarro Bowman was drafted in the third round. And we saw how that worked out for the 49ers, right? So I think coming out this year, he's going to be the breakout player. He's going to be all over the place. He's going to play a factor in the Eagles defense. I think this was their plan all along because they probably weren't expecting to get him. And when he landed there in the third round, they're like, I got to take him because they had already picked up TJ Edwards and Kazir White in free agency. So it is what it is. It is what it is. And I got a comment here. Who is this? Rick Rude. I mean, is it Ravishing Rick Rude from the WWE? It's 11 a.m. and you woke up delusional. What did I wake up delusional about, Rick? Tell me. What am I delusional about? Put it in the chat, though. So, Nakobe Dean, 100 tackles. That's what I'm putting him down for. He's gonna be a difference maker, for the Eagles. And I think that's why Kazir White and TJ Edwards is not there. Just for that sole fact is that we got, they drafted like every other Georgia player to play for their team. So they got Nolan, Carter, Nolan Green or anything like that. So, but Rick Rude says, yes, he thinks I'm delusional about Nakobe Dean. And you know what? I'll be interested for you to expound upon that. Why am I delusional about Nakobe Dean? Why am I delusional about Nakobe Dean? Rick Rude, are you a Cowboys fan or maybe a Commanders or a Giants? Am I in the right realm, or I'm just delusional for what I'm talking about? And he said yes. But tell me who's your team? Put it in the chat for me. But I got Nakobe Dean. Watch out for him. Take this down, mark it down, let me know. And we'll but here's the great part about it. Here's the great part about what I said. We're going to find out. Barring an injury, hopefully that nothing happens bad to this guy, because I don't wish anything on anybody bad. We're going to find out. And then if I'm wrong, Rick, you can come in here and say I'm delusional every single show.
Embiid.
No, Lopan, don't agree with Rick. Don't agree with Rick. So Rick, right here, he's a Browns fan. All right. So I can see that. Then Rick, you're probably going to be mad at me as well because I had the Browns in the division finishing 4th. Now, let me say something before you go off on me, Rick, is that I'm just saying this because the division is so tough with the other 3 teams. I don't think anybody's just going to take a commanding lead in that division. I believe it's going to be close throughout the season, and I just don't think 4 teams can make the playoffs out of one division. And that's why I say the Browns are probably it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. All right. So that's my thing about the Browns. And he said that's fair. So that's all I'm saying. The Browns could win that division, but I got to pick somewhere. So I'm just saying, I think it's a tough division. The AFC North, I think, is going to be one of the toughest divisions. And my Detroit Lions got to play a couple teams in the AFC North, if I remember right. I know we got to play Baltimore, but we may have to play another team there. So, yeah, but good luck to the Browns, man. I root for them because you know a little bit about some pain when it comes to, being a fan of your team and things that don't go away. Rick also says Browns are mid. We are 2 years away from being 2 years away. Okay. Yeah, 2 years from being 2 years. But look, you got great additions with Deshaun Watson. That situation looks like it's, it looks like it's in the past. Looks like, you're moving forward with that. I love Nick Chubb. Everything that everybody's getting to see about Nick Chubb, I heard about Nick Chubb, speaking with, some family members of Nick Chubb as well. And everything that you get with him is what you're seeing here. He's just there to play, football. Amari Cooper, on that team as your number one wide receiver. David Njoku. Look, the Browns are, and I haven't even talked about the defensive side with Myles Garrett and the rest of them. But see how Rick done got, the derailed the show. He done got me talking about the Browns. But yeah, 2 years. All right, in 2 years, Rick has said 2 years. Watch us, and we gonna be a problem. So I would not doubt that. I'm not gonna doubt that at all. But appreciate you for chiming in, Rick. We got to move on to the next topic, which is the last thing, which is QBs, rookie QBs, right? Rookie QBs. There's a lot of rookie QBs that got drafted this year. Some of that is thanks. Everybody always wants a quarterback, but also some of that is in thanks to, Brock Purdy and what he did. But which rookie QB do you think is going to have the best season, right? The best season. We have some guys, and there's guys that I left off just because I don't think who's in front of them, barring an injury, they're gonna get to play. Like Stetson Bennett for the LA Rams. I don't think he's gonna get to play because normally Matthew Stafford, he will play with a broken spleen, so he just plays hurt if he gets hurt. So that's why I don't have, a guy like Stetson, Bennett in here. But my list that I have is Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, and Aiden O'Connell, right? And let me tell you why I got those. Obviously, Bryce Young, Stroud, and Richardson is a no-brainer. They already been named the starters. Will Levis, I don't know what's going to happen with Ryan Tannehill. He didn't finish the season last year, so I don't know what Will may actually get that opportunity to play. So that's why I put him in there. Aiden O'Connell, hey, in Las Vegas, Jimmy G has had his problems with injuries as well. He got injured last year, and that's how Brock, got where he is now. So that's why I got them in the mix. But out of all these quarterbacks, I think who will have probably the best season, I'm going to go with who I said was going to be my surprise team, and that is CJ Stroud. I think CJ Stroud, let me start with Bryce Young. Bryce Young is just learning and going through what it is with being that number one overall pick, right? They got some struggles there on the offensive line. They got a veteran team. I do like it because they do have a veteran team, but I think he's going to go, through his struggles. All of them will go through their struggles. Anthony Richardson, everybody talk about him being a project. I think that's just going to take time. It's not all going to happen. He's going to have some really good games, or he's going to have some good games, but then I think there's going to be a mixture of some bad games in there. So a learning process. Like I said, all these guys, going to have a learning process. The other two is just if by chance, the quarterback gets injured, then they're going to be playing. But I think CJ Stroud, out of all of them, will probably have the best opportunity in having the best season, because I talked about previously what happened with the Houston Texans. And looking at CJ Stroud, he should be an upgrade at the quarterback position. And they're going to get John Mechie back, that they didn't have John Mechie because he had an illness. He's feeling better, which is great. Kudos to him, on that he's back with the team. And that whole D'Amico run. It's something to be said when someone changes your culture. It's one thing. We see how everybody went crazy about Aaron Rodgers being to the Jets. But when someone, that is a culture change that Aaron Rodgers has. But when it comes from a coach, there's something to be said, and I think D'Amico Ryans is going to have a big impact on everything and everybody when it comes to Houston Texans, and that goes for C.J. Stroud as well. We saw an example of that with what Jacksonville was a couple years back. Doug Peterson comes in, changes that culture, and guys just talk about it's just great to really have to just talk about the team that we're playing next versus everything about what's going on circulating around the team or circulating around a coach or somebody or a particular person in the organization. So I think that's just going to help out the Houston Texans. It's going to help out C.J. Stroud. And I'd say C.J. Stroud probably was going to have the best season out of all the rookie quarterbacks. That's my pick. Now, if you got something of your own, go ahead, put it in the comment section, man, and tell me who you think is going to have the best rookie season at the quarterback position. But regardless of what it is, ladies and gentlemen, hey, that is it. That is another episode of the Wait a Minute Show with your man, Jelani JB Bodie. And I hope you have fun. And shouts out to Rick Rude. Rick Rude. I mean, if your name is Rick Rude, you got to do that move, right? So shout out to Rick Rude for dropping in and telling me, everybody, in 2 years, his Browns, you don't have to worry about. But like, subscribe, turn on those notifications to the channel, man. Hey, follow your boy. We're here every week. And now we're getting heavy into this NFL season. So you know we're going to be talking about all the trending topics, that's out there. So everybody, be safe out there. Be good. Be good to yourself. I'll holler at you later. Lopan is excited because he got a phone number.
Indeed.
But he'll probably be depressed after she stopped calling him next week. So 2 things as always. Stay positive and push forward. And I'll holler at y'all later. Lopan, let's go on up out of here.